So guys, in this video, I want to show you some of the marketing activities that they're doing with the ONVO L90 here in China, and also some comparisons between the Li Auto i8, the walk-in volume, the store volume, compared to the ONVO. So let's first start off with some of the marketing activities. So very interestingly, they're strategically placing the ONVO L90 right outside of Sam's Club and these big shopping malls. I've also seen it in front of these big sports stores. And they also have these kind of really cool games and challenges where you can like try to put as many of these little soft pillow-like vegetables that are pretty big, and you can see how many you can store in the front and also in the back. And apparently if you win, there's like a little small gift or something like that. And this is perfect for these big families, because when you go to Sam's Club, you buy a ton of stuff, right? And of course you got to fit all of that in your car, and that could be problematic. And of course, having the ONVO L90 just showcasing its immense storage space is a great opportunity. So they're doing this all over the country. All right, and this video that you're seeing is in Beijing, what they're doing particularly in Beijing, which is very nice. Of course, the target customer is, of course, these families that they would go to Sam's Club, buy a bunch of stuff, and of course they would need that storage space. So the ONVO L90 offers that, and there's lots of interest, as you can tell from those videos. So I've also seen other pictures online. Lots of people are indeed checking out this car in front of Sam's Club. So this is pretty good, pretty decent marketing. I think they've targeted the right customers right there. But also today, just now, during lunchtime, and this is a Sunday, by the way. So, Sunday people are off work. I went to Shine Hills again to take a look. And man, there simply weren't a lot of people checking out the Li Auto i8. And, compared to the ONVO L90, there's a lot more people. I'm going to take a look at this video. You can clearly tell, the interest is, quite big. When it comes to these cars, pricing is pretty important, right? And the fact that the ONVO L90 is cheaper in price and superior in terms of storage space, and some people say comfort, some people also say in terms of safety. So, you're getting a better product for a cheaper price. Why not, right? So it is kind of reflected in the walk-in volume, the store volume. It's pretty big. There's lots of people checking out the cars. And guys, I can't get more excited about this. Deliveries very soon, and in just a few days, on the 31st of this month, you're going to have the ONVO L90 official launch event in Hangzhou, and then deliveries start the next day, basically. Yeah, they got the cars sent to the delivery center. They're pretty much all ready to be delivered. Okay, and what's also pretty important, revolutionary, is that on the 31st of July, this is the first time that you'll get new policy for NIO owners and cross brand buying and privilege sort of transfers. All right, so NIO owners, they will probably be able to transfer their unlimited battery swap, that kind of stuff, to their ONVO vehicle if they choose to buy one, that kind of stuff, transfer it to Firefly, etc. And having that just opens up a lot of the existing NIO owners as potential customers for the ONVO car, because right now an existing NIO owner buying an ONVO, they can't transfer the privilege. So unless they're adding an ONVO, they'll do that. But if they're selling their NIO and buying an ONVO, they're not going to do that. Okay, but with this, starting on the 31st, they'll be able to do that because the privileges can be transferred over. Speaking of which, I stumbled across this interesting story of an ONVO L60. It had its battery punctured by like a sort of a bolt. All right, This very long bolt. It somehow punctured the battery while it was driving over some dirt road. And first of all, it didn't catch fire, which is pretty nice. But then, more interestingly, the battery is damaged, right? Because of BAS, the battery is rented and you're not buying the battery. You don't actually, the owner doesn't actually pay for the damages, which is very interesting. I mean, the battery has its own insurance. This goes with the monthly fee that you pay for renting the battery. There's like an extra 60 RMB per month, which is roughly like $10 per month just for the battery insurance. And that covers stuff like this, like accidental puncturing and damages and external scratches and that kind of stuff to the battery pack. So that ONVO owner is so happy, like, damn, he didn't have to pay for the battery at all. It's all fully covered. And of course, ONVO customer support was also like, yeah, you don't have to pay anything. This is fully covered by the battery insurance. And this is, of course, something that's quite nice. First of all, with some other cars, if the battery gets punctured, will it catch fire? That's the thing you got to worry about first. But then, of course, you would probably be liable for the damages for the battery. And, when it comes to an EV, the battery is, of course, the most, dangerous aspect of the car and most prone to degradation and damages and that kind of stuff through prolonged use. So having that is definitely quite interesting, right? So it definitely is another reason to buy the car without the battery. And yeah, it just proved a point. And once again, it kind of showcases how NIO's service is pretty quick, right? Very fast to respond to these kind of situations. Last year, was it last year or 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago. There was severe flooding in Beijing. And I'm in the northeastern part of Beijing, but in the far western part of Beijing, there was severe flooding. Very, very severe flooding. And some NIOs were submerged completely in water and the cars were totaled. And when that happens, because they bought NIO's insurance, there's none of that like crazy haggling and that kind of stuff. And it just, NIO helped deal with the whole situation and they were able to have the car totaled and the insurance company just paid up the whole cost of the car. And that was pretty crazy. A lot of, painful back and forth dealing with the insurance company, all that kind of process avoided because of the service. So this is definitely pretty nice. So I think, the ONVO L90 is one of the first products I think that will finally they'll be able to deliver at launch. They've never really been able to do that, deliver at launch. And finally, they have a lot of supply for this car. So you're not going to have a problem where, there's not enough cars. People have to wait extra long. No. And I think this is finally, more importantly, the first product where NIO has gotten everything right. Everything that customers, NIO owners have complained about, they fixed and addressed it on the ONVO L90, giving people what they want. So this is pretty nice and high hopes. I think investors are very optimistic with this car. I am very optimistic with this car. Consumers really like this car as well, and it's very evident. All right, as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.